Hello and welcome to my channel. My channel name is Not Another Knitter because we have oh so many podcasts about knitting. And my name is Liz. I've been knitting for a very long time since high school, and I've also been crocheting. But I took a break while in college, and obviously during the pandemic, I started getting back into it, and I've been knitting and crocheting and just crafting nonstop ever since. Um, Today I am wearing the Forster cardigan by uh, Edna. Um, I forgot her name, her full name, Edna. But I will put any information here regarding the designer and pattern, and also in the notes below. But yeah, if you also see me looking down, I'm. This is my first time, recording and doing something like this, so I have a bunch of notes on my iPad. um, but yeah, so sorry about that. My partner is might be getting sick and it's been sneezing a lot, so I might have to pause, start, pause, start. So you might see a lot of cuts. Anyways, so today is January 1st, 2026, and what better day than to start a YouTube channel about crafting, knitting, and all that fun stuff, because it's a fresh year, fresh start, um, and it's a great time to kind of talk and reflect about what 2025 brought and what 2026 is going to bring. One thing I probably won't be doing is what I knit this year in 2025, because I'm really, really bad at tracking that stuff. I kind of just knit and then throw it on, and I'm really bad at writing notes down, and so that's one thing. My goal for this upcoming year is to make more notes about my knitting, what process I was doing, needle sizes, and all that stuff. Because a lot of times I'll put a work in progress down and then forget everything about it. But this is actually my knitting journal. Another thing I'm going to kind of the influence is needing to buy a knitting journal every year. I've had this for 2 years and it's not even filled up, and that's why I like that it's not dated. It doesn't have anything specific to it's to a specific year. Everything I've done is like dated it myself. What else? I tried to put down like some uh, information about what yarn I was using, and a picture of it. But sometimes I forget to even take the picture part, and it ends up looking like this, where the picture should go. So yeah, this year my goal is to actually use this more, because look, I have so many empty pages. So use this more. And again, you don't have to buy a new knitting journal every year, even though it's fun and journals are cute and fun. I've had this for 2 years. So our goal is to hopefully this year use up as much of it as possible so that I can eventually buy a new one. But I actually love this one in general though, because the cover is so pretty. So yeah, that is my first kind of goal this year. Now I'm checking my notes. As far as what projects I'm going into the new year, I have a lot of work in progress going on, but I wanted to kind of share, uh, kind of share just one or two of the things I've been working on. I've been working on this cardigan. It is, let me get my notes up again, because this is where it gets a little crazy. This is the Deu, I don't know how to pronounce that. Cardigan by Tamara of Star-Crossed Knits. And the yarn I'm using is Cascade yarn, and for the fingering weight yarn. And then the mohair I'm using is Drops Kid Silk Mohair. I'll put all the information right here. And I'm currently knitting it in a size 5. I originally wanted to knit this before our holiday party at work because this was kind of like a whole. I wanted to start this YouTube channel like a lot earlier, but I keep chickening out because I'm like anxious and nervous about, I don't know, being perceived and judged. But I'm like, you know what? I'm 2026. I'm just gonna do it, see what happens. So here we are. But originally, this was supposed to be a video of knitting a Gilmore Girl inspired knits. And so I know Starcross or Tamara, she did like a video on Gilmore Girls, and that's when I saw this one. Kind of reminded me of a sweater Rory wears. And like when I knit something, I don't want to make like an exact replica because in Gilmore Girls they're, you know, a little thinner and I'm plus size, so I want to wear something or make something that I'm going to wear consistently and like on my body. So when I do something that's like, oh, inspired by a TV show or something, I still want to make sure it like fits my body and goes into my style. So this one was pretty close to a sweater, but I'm gonna make it a cardigan instead. Um, so yeah, but yeah, I really wanted to make it before so I could take a picture on the Gilmore Girl gazebo, the whole point of the video, but it didn't happen because I had so much to do. But yeah, hopefully I can finish this up before my project ends in February, and I can take pictures in front of it once it's finished. But it's getting some good progress. Um, Then next, I actually finished this between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Or actually, no. This one I finished in 2025. I just have to cut in, and I already weaved in all the ends. I just gotta cut it off. But this is the Cutie collar. I knitted it for a Secret Santa because they wanted it on their Christmas list. We were trying to do kind of like a crafty Christmas exchange. Anyways, this is the Cutie collar. We were doing like a crafty Christmas exchange, not white elf, but Secret Santa, and on their list they wanted like a cute collar, and so I found this pattern, um, the Cutie collar. Let me get my info up. Um, this is by Agata Wilk. Um, I cannot pronounce her Instagram name, but again, the info will be here. And then I use Sannisgarn, Sunday, and Eisger silk mohair for the project. So it was held. You didn't see that. So it was held double. I really love this like deep blue. It came out really pretty. I'm actually trying to save all these scrap mohair that I end up with. I saw this like scarf somebody made with a bunch of different mohair, and I was like, oh, that's really pretty. So now I'm gonna try and save it up instead of just like buying all the mohair. I just kind of want to make it a scrappy thing. So it's not something I need right now. So, but yeah, I just have to cut off all the weaved ends, and yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. And so this was finished in 2025. I want to say I finished it like 2 days ago, but this one I finished it between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Is this crocheted Miffy? I need to cut off. I don't know. I need to cut off some of the weaved in ends too, but yes. Isn't she adorable? And the collar I made was based off of the Cutie collar. I used the pattern and tried to just like, there was no method to the madness. I just kind of like guessed all the measurements and hope it came out well, and tried to just use the idea of like, oh, decrease here, make it this. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty cute. I wish I did like the little eyelets though, so it would match up a little more. But I was getting kind of like tired and lazy, so. But anyways, the let me bring up the pattern info. The Miffy crochet is by Knit Joa, and the collar obviously was based off the Cutie collar by Agata Wilk, and this was all made from scrap yarn I already had lying around. I didn't have to buy anything new for this. Sorry, I keep coughing. I didn't have to buy anything new for this. This was made from some yarn I got a long time ago called Milk Cotton. But yeah, she's so cute, and I'm excited for my Secret Santa to receive her this weekend. And that's it as far as what I'm working on right now and what I've finished recently. Um, yeah. And let's see. Now, as far as 2025 upcoming knits, I don't have like a list just yet of like, oh, this is everything I plan to make in to finish off the winter, or like, oh, spring 2026 knitting ideas. So another reason I want to make this YouTube channel was because I'm about to be unemployed. I currently work in animation, and currently the industry is not doing very well. And I'm going to be unemployed for the first time in like over 5 years, and the first time in 5 years working in the industry, and then the first time in 14 years I've always had like a part-time job or two part-time jobs to make a full-time job. Um, so I was like, what better way to be unemployed than make a YouTube channel? Um, so I wanted to kind of, you know, show some of the stuff I'm working on, get into sewing projects, because I also used to sew a lot when I was younger. I used to cosplay and make my own costumes, but I'd like to go away from the cosplay and make my own clothes, or like make my own home decor. Like, there's been like, I wanted to make kitchen curtains for the longest time, and they're so easy to make. I've just been so lazy. I don't even say lazy. I just work a lot. When you're in production, you work a lot, and I'll like stay till 10 o'clock, or I've worked till 1 a.m. before. So it's part of the job. And so this time I want to do more stuff. And I also have just a stack of whips that I need to work on as well, because I've let those go by, you know, one time you'll just really want to do it and then you'll lose the steam for it. So what else? And then I also have projects that I want to do that I've collected from estate sales. Like, I have some really interesting weird things that I would like to try. Like, I have this it's a cross stitch set, but it's for cigarettes. And I just thought it was so funny that they like advertise to women to cross stitch cigarette holders. So I kind of want to do a video on that, of like making one and kind of like research the history behind that. I just think it's kind of interesting. So those are the kind of things you can expect from me. I'm not going to be an all knitting channel, just because there's really plenty of knitting channels out there who focus purely on knitting, and I just can't see myself focusing purely on knitting, just because I'd like to do a lot of other stuff. So I hope that interests you. If you're a knitter out there who wants to see a little bit of variety. And oh yes, so another reason that of things I've been thinking about, and kind of like, I feel like this is all over the place, but this is where my brain is. is like the whole idea of like make do mend, which is like kind of ties into why I'm doing this YouTube channel and like unemployment and stuff like that, is that like the amount of things I'm going to be able to buy is going to be a lot smaller. So that's why I want to focus on, finishing any work in progresses, and uh, trying out those crafts I've gotten at like estate sales. Pause. I need a cough. Anyways, um, working on like projects from estate sales, um, and the whole idea like this Christmas I watched like a lot more movies than I normally do, and I watched Little Women and Emmett Otter in the Jug Band. I forgot the whole name of it. It's a Muppets movie. Um, and you're like, what do those two things have in common? And it actually does. They do have a lot. The whole theme of both movies were, uh, people going through hard times around like the holidays and just in general with like life, and learning to like make do with what you have and create and be creative, even when you have nothing. And so that really kind of had me thinking about what I'm going into next year. Is like, I am very fortunate my partner is able to, sustain us for a little bit while I try to find a new job, or even like shift gears into a new job, a new career. And so things will be tight, and it's hard when like everything is like fairly cheap but still expensive. I don't know if that makes sense, but like people can buy a lot more things now, and compared to like, I don't know, I felt like back in the day people didn't just buy as much because it was more expensive. Anyways, I digress. Um, so it got me a lot about thinking about my crafting, um, and just in general consumption of things. I am definitely one of those people who would be like, oh my gosh, Green Gable yarn theme, I need to buy this, it's so cute. And like, I'm not saying you shouldn't buy those things. I think they're really fun, and if I had the money I'd probably still be buying them. But when you don't have the money, you have to really think about like, is this worth it? Is this a new colorway that I really need? Unless like, you really had no yarn and you're like, yes, I do want some yarn to make a project with. But yeah, my whole goal is to, you know, use what I have. And kind of thinking about those two movies got me thinking about like the upcoming year. It's going to be a little harder, so I'm going to have to lean on a lot of what I already have. And what also ties into this is I got this really cool book for Christmas called Vintage Knitting, 18 Patterns from the 1940s. And it's by Liza Hollinghurst. And not necessarily the patterns that I'm looking at per se, because like in this book there's only, the pattern for vintage knitting, the patterns are very limited in like sizes, because they assume you already know how to size up and stuff like that, or down. And so that's another thing I want to learn about, this year. Another goal number 2. But it talks about like, what it was like in World War II with rationing and using coupons, in the UK, and knitting. And so it really, got me thinking about like, how can I ration my stuff? How can I really make do and mend? And they even have in here their version of the reuse, reduce, recycle. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, here it is. It is, the 3 R's: repair, renovate, and remodel, instead of reuse, reduce, recycle. So I want to really go into 2026 with that intention of, how can we repair it? How can we remodel it? How can we renovate it? So yeah, those are my 3 goals of 2026. Um, Track my knitting, and I would love to do a end of the year wrap of like what yarn I used, how much I used, what colors I used, just to kind of not influence, but like see what I don't use and what I gear towards to, so it can help with what I buy in the future. I know a lot of the things like I have an issue with is I'll go to like a fiber fair and then I'll buy one skein and I'll be like, I can't make shit with this. I'm plus size. What am I gonna make? Um, and so yeah, that's another big thing. So number one, write down more and have more stats of my knitting. Number two is uh, learn to resize patterns because I do have a problem with that being a plus size knitter. Um, a lot of patterns sometimes don't have in my size, and then I get sad and I'm like, you know what, I should just learn how to do that because I think that could be really useful, especially because I like vintage knits too. I like the silhouette and shape. So number two, learn how to resize patterns. And number three, try the 3 R's of, I already forgot them. Okay, there we go. Try the 3 R's of repair, renovate, and remodel instead of reuse, reduce, recycle. I can see why we went with reuse, reduce, recycle because the other one is a little harder to remember. But with that said, I hope you all have a nice new year. And what are your goals? What are your thoughts for next year? What is, you know what? No, what is your intention for next year? What are you going into next year in mind with your knitting or crafting? And hopefully, maybe this is a weekly thing. We'll see, but maybe see you next week, maybe see you in 2 weeks, or maybe see you in a month. Thank you for watching.